Hi, welcome back. So today, instead of having a guest, I thought I will do a solo podcast. I've been doing a solo podcast for quite some time, almost 4 5 weeks. So the topic that I wanted to discuss and talk about is very controversial. Actually, you'll be surprised. Should marketing leaders focus on marketing? Is that one of the key job roles? You'll say, "Hello, isn't that the main job roles?" Or just hear me out. See, I have been a marketing leader. I have led large teams, built large teams. Okay, and what has happened is over the time, as your team grows, the knowledge about certain functions reduces over time. Let's say, for example, digital marketing. Now, when you're setting up the function, you know what is happening in digital marketing, what kind of people you want, uh, the trends, the tactics, approaches, and digital marketing, the search engine optimization, typical things that you know a fair amount of it, right? When you have your first team member, you obviously want your team member to know more about it, right? And he will execute the team's vision, the organization vision, the business objectives, right? When the team grows, you are dependent on the team lead to know more about it. As and when the team grows, your knowledge about it reduces progressively. For example, if you want to take a particular marketing automation tool, which perhaps extracts data from different sources, there are so many out there, right? Now, you would not be evaluating. What will happen is either the team lead or somebody in the team who would have spotted that tool will come and tell me, this is an exciting piece of exciting product. We should go for it because it will help and add value. So I'll ask them that, look, why don't you evaluate two or three other products? He will do the evaluation. He will do the due diligence. He will check out the pricing. He will get competitive quotes. Everything that he will do. All I will do is get convinced by him among the three vendors that he has presented or the four vendors that he has presented to me to take a call, right? Based on his knowledge, and I have to trust him. That's what a leader does. My boss would do the same thing. When I tell that, look, we want to go for this particular ABM tool, which costs maybe $80,000, my boss will ask me to evaluate everything. Eventually, I will make a presentation. Based on that, he'll say, go ahead, right? And I obviously will plug that particular product, which I feel is the best for the purpose at hand. I'll be the champion. He will not know what tool we are going for. He will do some Google research, just like I will do, right? Just like a CEO's job is not to be a marketeer and a finance person and a HR person and a production person. He is supposed to manage all these. He's supposed to manage the outcome, right? So then the question asked is, now it is quite, the question asked then, what is the marketing's role? I mean, how does it progress? There are different thoughts and different points of view on it, and I want to share my point of view over here. After all, that's what the podcast is all about. My point of view is that a marketing leader's job is manifolds. Okay, the first of is that he has to make his team good enough to deliver on the results, right? He has to have the right people on the right job. Okay, say for example, you have a person who's quite creative minded. Now you have given him a marketing operations role. It may not suit him, right? And it's the leader's job to identify that potential and have the right person for the right job, or what we call as horses for courses, right? If you put someone who is not fit for a particular role or responsibility, he will not be function at his optimal level. Secondly, he also needs to transform his functions, which means he has to know what is happening in the world out there, in the world of marketing, so that the roles are transformed, new trends and technologies are adopted, processes are changed, objectives are uh, managed and changed along with time. So let's give a small anecdotal experience. I had worked in an organization some time back where I was there for almost 6 years, right? When I started the role, okay, there was one marketing function, which is mostly like a vertical. There was the top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. And the metrics that we used to measure at that point of time was marketing leads only. At that point of time, leads was just someone who's showing any kind of interest to any kind of communication or campaigns that we carried out. Any kind of interest, which means it could be a content download, it could be asking for more information, or it could be just a click. Even that was considered to be a lead. Over the 6 years, with working closely with the inside sales team who did not report into marketing, the accepted version of marketing success was the influence that marketing had on the pipeline, which means how much sales pipeline was being created with marketing influence. Does not mean marketing was creating that pipeline, but how much was it influencing? How much of those accounts were marketing touching them? How many of them were marketing engaging? What was the quality of engagement? And there were various metrics to measure that quality. So one of the key tasks of a marketing leader becomes to understand what metrics should the marketing organization pursue and convince leadership that look, these are the metrics that you need to pursue so that ultimately marketing's job becomes more effective, right? That becomes the marketing leader's job, right? So understand what metrics to pursue. What you were pursuing 6, 8, 10 years back, you would not be pursuing today. And obviously what you're pursuing today, you won't be pursuing 5 years down the line. It will change. The other important part is to be open to change. Now, let me say something. When I started off marketing usually was just demand generation and brand building and website and all that stuff. Anything to do with communication and all that stuff. Today, what is happening is a lot of marketing organization, the inside sales function or the demand creation function is sometimes part of marketing, right? So marketing responsibility becomes to manage that output also. Instead of them being a client of marketing, they become part of marketing. They report to the marketing lead. A marketing leader's job is to understand when should these kind of different functions should come under. For example, I started off in a journey when there was just demand generation, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and all. Over time, product marketing came under marketing, customer marketing came under marketing. Analyst relationship was always under marketing, so I would not say it came under marketing. Inside sales came under marketing. Brand awareness came under marketing. And now let's see the changes which is happening. Now these you will say, hey, this is all part of marketing. Sales enablement came under marketing. Sales operations came under marketing. Functions and training, product training came under marketing. Now, you would say that, well, hi, what's the role of a leader over here? The leader's job is to say and convince that to make the marketing most effective, these functions need to report to marketing. It can't be just demand generation, or it can't be just brand awareness. It can't be just product marketing and give up certain functions. For example, some companies, product marketing will not report into marketing and report to product management. In some companies, surprise, surprise, the demand generation does not report into marketing and reports to the revenue function, chief revenue officer. So it's a marketing leader's responsibility to identify that, look, this is what the structure should be. And he should be able to come back to the leadership every 1 year, 2 years and say that, look, this function should come in and this function should go out, right? And that's how you will build your marketing function. I created a product marketing function in an organization almost after 3.5 years of joining that company. Okay, and till that time, product marketing was not existing. Today, product marketing is the most important function in marketing. And when I created the function in marketing, I had to convince my boss, the CEO, that look, that is why we needed product marketing. That is a marketing leader's job, to convince the leaders that, look, this is the direction that marketing should take. And I'm talking about a B2B SaaS kind of a environment. I'm not talking about anything else. Let's just be clear about that. B2B SaaS, right? Nothing else. Now, the other question is asking is, can a marketing leader, the CMO, can he be an expert in anything? Well, great if he is. Okay, every CMO has come through some line, right? He has perhaps started off in demand generation, then taken up a role in product marketing, then come back to a demand generation role, maybe taken up a field marketing role, then maybe taken up a corporate marketing role, and so on and so forth. Based on that, he has become a generalist. Over time, he's become generalist, but he has certain interests which he wants to pursue. For example, my interest in marketing is on two parts. One is analyst relationship and one is product marketing. These are the two fields I think I have domain expertise and I've developed uh, and polish that over time. But do I need to be? No, I don't. But it helps if I am an expert also. But I cannot be expected to be an expert at all areas, not even in product marketing, not even in one area, I cannot be an expert. So sometimes what happens is if you are a marketing leader and if you are an expert in certain things, before you get someone to lead that function, the leader drives it. For example, before I had an analyst relationship person to drive analyst relationship, I used to drive it. Why? Because I come from an analyst relationship background. I worked in Gartner, so I have that expertise and I brought it on the table. I'm not expected to be a marketing expert on in that. I'm not expected to know what are the different algorithms that Google is creating. I'm not expected. In fact, it's changing so fast that unless you are at the absolutely at the ground level, in theoretically speaking, you would not know what the changes which is happening. Even the digital marketing lead would not know everything that is happening because it's constantly evolving and changing. Okay, now other part what which I feel that is a marketing leader's job, marketing leader's job, or rather role, is taking up major projects and taking it to fruition. Okay, uh, we wanted to deploy an example. We wanted to deploy an ABM function, create an ABM function. Now, as you know, ABM function is a very heavy function and pretty expensive to get it off the ground. There are a lot of components of ABM: creating database, creating the contacts, creating the ideal customer profile, identifying the right channels, budgeting for that, having the right tools. Key question: having the right tools. ABM tools by nature are very expensive. You take demand base, you take terminus, uh, demand base, you take terminus, you take any of those things. ABM tools by nature are very expensive. Okay. So there is no easy way to get out of it. Now, the marketing leader's job is just not identifying the tool that someone in the team will do. Marketing leader's job is to make sure that transformation happens and happens smoothly and the outcome is as expected. These are big ticket investment. An entire ABM engine to create would take about $100,000. The organization has to be convinced, the transformation journey has to taken up, adoption has to happen. You have to ensure that your team also adopts those tools, right? Second part of a marketing leader's job is to convince the team that, look, this is the direction we are going to take. Please follow. And you have to convince. You cannot force them. Sometimes you have to force because organizations are not a democracy. But you have to convince them that, look, this is why we are doing it. This is the expected benefit out of it. This is some of the changes that will happen. This is how the changes will impact you negatively and positively. Lay down the entire story so they buy into it. Yes, there will be few people who will not like it, but that's how it's going to be. But it is the marketing leader's job to take them along with you in the digital transformation journey, because you cannot be static in marketing. You cannot be static. You cannot say that we will not use marketing automation, we will not use CRM, we will not use intent signals, we will not use ABM tools, we will not use video marketing, we will not use social media. You cannot say that. And in order to do all these things in a systematic manner, it requires it requires a transformative journey, right? And it is not easy to do a digital transformation of any function. Marketing is one of the easiest functions because they're more amenable to change. They adopt change faster, they adapt to change faster, but it is still difficult to in marketing. And that becomes a marketing leader's role to make sure that the transformation happens, right? That is the marketing leader's job. Got it? Now, I mean, this is my point of view. And obviously making them ready for the future. Okay. In a if you see, most of the analyst firm today says that the key job of a marketing leader is customer experience and something called marketing technology officer. You have to be the chief marketing technology officer. So you have to be quickly in adopting technology. You cannot be left behind. Okay. Moment you have some of the budgets, you have to start adopting technology. and not only just buying them, but adopting them, deploying them, using them. These are very important functions. I will just tell you a small thing which happened in one of my organizations that I worked with. We had taken a tool for content design, so that what is happening is each team was doing their content. So obviously, but there was one team did not know what the other team was doing. Now I got a tool, not very expensive. I forgot the name of the tool also, which I said that look, there was a workflow. Unless every project is uploaded on the tool, it will not be approved to go through. I had told the designers about it. Okay. In first 15, 20, 30 days, maybe a 2, 3 months, they all adopted tools because obviously I had given a diktat. After some time, the adoption started falling down, and because there was no way in the tool to know that whether they are using the tool or not. There was no workflow approval, which means if a project is applied, I did not have to approve anything. So obviously it fell through the cracks, and then once it stopped, we did not renew it. And so a marketing leader's job is that if you take something like this, some tool like this, you have to say that look, it's adopted. And adoption will happen only if you can demonstrate benefit. Adoption cannot happen through force. It has never happened. It will never happen before. Okay, so this that part of the marketing leader has to wear a sales hat for the internal team, right? The marketing leader's next job is to convince other functional heads about the importance of marketing. Now, this is a very political statement that I made. Usually, marketing is considered to be something which is burning money for the organization, a cost center. Okay, what are you doing? Anybody can do marketing. If you remember, nobody walks into a chief financial officer's office and say that look, this is how you should do your finances, or to the SVP of product engineering, and this is how you should. This is all the tools that you need to use. Nobody does that. But it is always understood that you can influence marketing. Everybody can do marketing. Everybody marketing does not do anything. That is, I'm sure, as marketers, you've always faced it. What can you do? Anybody can do this. What's the big deal about it, right? So, marketing leader's job is to first of all create the credibility, importance of the function in the eyes of the internal stakeholders: sales, leadership, HR, finance, admin, right? It is okay because you're not, end of the day, you're not getting revenue. You are impacting the process of getting revenue, but you're not directly closing deals, so you're not getting revenue. So that importance of marketing in the organization has to be created, because if that is not, then everybody will take marketing for granted, and everybody will want marketing that they want it to be. And you will see a lot of times, sales pushes the marketing around and stuff like that. Do this way, do that way, and all that stuff. And that happens. So the marketing leader's job is to say that, and also push back. Um, if the leader says, look, I want this, I want that, if it does not fall in the overall vision and the objective of marketing leader's job is to push back, right? Okay. Other job function, which is the last one which I wanted to talk about in this podcast, is HR or recruitment. Uh, if you do not, okay, first of all, it is extremely difficult to get good talent in India. Extremely difficult. Let me be very clear. It is easy to get people, but it is practically impossible to get good people at the right time. All of you know, especially people who are starting off, know that when you get an offer, you actually have 2, 3 offers in hand. So obviously, you cannot join all the 3 companies that you have in hand. You will take up one, you will say no to the other 2. Most of the time, you will say no at the last moment or just a few days before joining, right? So what I'm saying to say is that if you do not have the right team for the right job, which I spelled out earlier, you cannot succeed. There is no leader in this world who can get marketing off the ground, or any team off the ground, without the right people. You are as good as your team. And I'm not saying because it is good to say, it is a great statement like Steve Jobs makes it. No, you're as good as your team. Simple as that. Okay. But after getting the team, you need to quickly identify their skill, quickly identify their strength, quickly identify their weakness, and make them and put them where they belong. And if they do not belong to the organization, because every recruitment engine, or every recruitment team, or every recruiter, or makes mistakes in hiring, right? You always will hire 1 or 2 people, or maybe even more, who you later on realize should not have been hired, because they just don't fit into the role or the organization's culture, right? It happens. The marketing leader's job is also to make sure that if such a thing happens, when this doesn't happen, the person should be either given a fair warning or asked to go. Uh, it is no point being uh, I would say the word cowardly in saying that okay, let's just not ruffle feathers and all that stuff. Let him keep him away. He let him not give any role. Let him stay there. But why? If you do that, what happens is it spreads negativity within the organization, and that negativity can poison the entire team. Okay, you have to, when you have a gangrene, you cut off that part of the toe immediately, you or the foot or the leg or the arm immediately. You don't wait for it to poison the entire body and then try to cure it, because by the time it will be too late and you're going to die, right? So it is important that marketing realizes this, leader realizes this and takes action accordingly. And one more point which I wanted to make for marketing is that the role of a CMO, role of a VP marketing, role of a marketing leader has undergone a lot of changes over the last 10 years. Perhaps the most transformative changes has happened in the last 10 years, and extremely transformative in the last 5 years. If a marketing leader's role also is to keep a close watch on this transformation and take that further, and act on that, and make sure that the organization's marketing team also adopts. So this is my view, that's why I feel that marketing leader need not just focus on marketing. These are all aspects of marketing which he has to focus on, which is not considered traditionally to be a marketer, right? So this is my job. Thank you for listening. Thank you there, and hope to see you next week.